Coming to digital and VOD on September 24th, we have a movie called Paradox Effect. I want to thank Gravitas Ventures for sending me over a screener to check out this film and let you guys know if it's worth a watch. So stick around and let's talk about it. An innocent woman is forced to confront a dangerous kingpin who has kidnapped her young daughter and is holding her for ransom. She teams up with a corrupt Interpol agent whose son is also being held hostage to rip off various criminals to raise the ransom to save their offspring. The film stars Olga Kurylenko, Harvey Keitel, Oliver Trevena, and Alice Astons, and was directed by Scott Weintrob, and I've never seen any of his previous works. Paradox Effect. Now, I didn't know anything about this movie. I didn't watch the trailer. I honestly didn't even know the genre. I honestly thought it was a science fiction movie. By the title alone, that's what you would figure it would be, but it turned out to be an action movie. The actor and actresses I did not recognize, but they have been in some notable movies here, which was a surprise to me because they're not household names to me. But this film, it stars around a woman who is a recovering drug addict. She ends up getting in with the wrong situation in which you have this police officer who is undercover, who gets involved in a shootout. She ends up being held hostage by this police officer, and they're riding around town, and her daughter meanwhile gets captured, and they're on the run here trying to track down this villain played by Harvey Keitel. There's some drugs involved, and it's a very hokey kind of plot. And I'll start off by saying, from a positive standpoint, I did like how the film actually started off. You have Harvey Keitel, who is cutting off this guy's fingers, and I'm like, oh man, this is pretty violent to start off. Some of the cinematography in the beginning of the film wasn't too bad, and I didn't think the acting with the villain, I thought when he had time to shine, which wasn't a lot in this film, I thought he did a pretty good job. And then some of the action, which is mainly towards the end of the film, the last 15 to 20 minutes, I didn't think that was too bad. The problem with this film that I had was it's very generic. You've seen this dozens of times. Majority of this film is literally our two characters. They're stuck in this car, and it reminded me of another movie that I've recently rewatched which was with Ethan Hawke and Selena Gomez, in which they're stuck in a car for that, but you have the actual villain talking into the car and directing them where to go, whereas this one, you just have the two characters in the car, and they're trying to track down the villain. And then also the fact that this film is mainly shot from drone shots. They're driving around Italy, and you have this narrator that's in Italian. It's kind of weird that everybody speaks English. There's no Italian other than the narrator, in which he's narrating random things as they're driving around town. Part of the issue for me for this film is the fact that they just pretty much go straight into the movie. They really don't develop our main character. We really don't see the relationship with her and her daughter. Obviously, it's her daughter, but we don't even know if they have a really good relationship. We just know that she's flying in, she gets taken hostage, and then we're supposed to actually care about all that. Then you have this guy, obviously, that is the undercover police officer, and he's like a D-flick Jason Statham. He was pretty boring, and a lot of times, like I said, they're just driving through town. There's some drone shots, some narration going on, and nothing is really happening of note. By the time the third act actually hits, you finally get some gunshots, and a lot of them are very uninspired. It's not really that exciting. Some of the choreography is done very poorly, and it's just very much a chore to get through. There just really isn't anything really happening throughout this film. A lot of times I just sat there and I was thinking to myself, when is this going to actually pick up? I almost fell asleep as I'm watching this movie because there's just nothing really of note really going on. I couldn't get into the characters. Overall, Paradox Effect is just a waste of your time. I really don't have much else to say on this movie. The villain, Harvey Keitel, is completely wasted. He really doesn't get much development. He doesn't really get any time to shine on screen besides maybe a few moments, and you don't really care too much about him as a character. I think they could have utilized him a lot more. Obviously, this Jason Statham D-flick actor, I think they could have done a little bit more for him or given him a little bit more script, but he just doesn't really shine here, and the movie overall is just a bore to sit through. And that's really all I can say about this film. There's just nothing else to really say of note of this film. So as far as the score for this film, I would give it a 1 out of 5. Completely pass on this film. You can see a lot better action films out there, and unfortunately this one, it's just not going to do any favors unless you're just totally bored or it's a rainy day, you've ran out of stuff to watch. I honestly would not consider watching this film. But I want to thank you guys for watching this review. If you guys have seen the film, let me know down in the comments, what did you guys think about the film? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you just think it was kind of meh? And if you haven't checked it out, are you going to check it out when it comes to VOD or streaming? Thank you guys for watching as always, and I will see you guys next time.